It's a brand new year, but no new leaves of life yet for people in some states in northern Nigeria regarding insecurity. On Tuesday, gunmen stormed Nakuna and Wurukuchi communities and killed 37 people. 10 children belonging to a family were killed right on their farm, while 20 bodies were discovered in the bush. Meanwhile, Governor Bello Matawale of Zamfara State has attributed persistence in banditry in the state to lack of punishment for arrested bandits. Governor Matawale told the federal government delegation on a sympathy visit to the state that arrested bandits are being released without trial. I found it so hard to believe when I read this. People that you tagged terrorists and you arrest them and you release them. How possible is that? And they go back and regroup.
It sounds very notoriously and shamefully Nigerian. That thing you're saying sounds very, very notoriously, shamefully, and typically...
Arrest the bandits?
Yes, and typically Nigerian. I mean, waking up from a dream, I won't be surprised to hear. If they say it happened in Nigeria, I won't be surprised. This is not even... I'm sorry, but I mean, without being insensitive to the people who have died and those who have lost loved ones, the angle we are taking it from is nothing new. It is sad that this is happening. And for what it is worth, I just want to suggest that perhaps when we're out of this era or maybe this epoch, we need to open criminal investigations into people that might have been criminally negligent, people that might have derelicated their duty, people that turned a blind eye, yes, people that turned a blind eye and outright and partook in outright collusion with the enemy of this country to sabotage and subvert national security. Because national security is not just what the president says in his speech or what some people do when they're in power. It is about understanding that when it comes to security, in fact, philosophers of statehood will tell you that security comes before freedom, which is to say that until we are secure, we can't even talk about freedom of food. So if in the fundamental layer or the very foreground on which the nation should stand, we are faltering this despicably and appallingly, then it means that the very minders of state policy, we need to ask some very, very probing questions. In Sokoto was where how many people died in Sokoto the other day? Was it 200 or something? Am I getting my facts right?
No, I think in Zamfara.
You see, now we are beginning to compare whether it was Sokoto or Zamfara. This one that happened in Niger State. Oh. What we had, the report said that villagers or vigilantes in the vigilance group had gone to launch an assault on these attackers, and that I think some days or a week later or 2 weeks later or something like that, those people now came on a reprisal attack. I commend those villagers who went to launch an attack or who went to carry that onslaught on the bandits or on the attackers, whoever they were in their location. But how is it that in a place where we have supposedly locked down telecoms operations just to say that we're boosting our capacity to pin down these terrorists, how is it now that there was going to be a reprisal attack, nobody perhaps saw it coming, and the attack was so bad? In one village alone, they burned down all the 200 buildings belonging to the villagers. So it's a case of the less you want to look, the more you're even seeing.
Is it because what it takes to prosecute these bandits that might be the constraints? Because I don't know if they're taken to the police station and they've established the fact that, look, these guys are terrorists. I feel they should be charged to court and they should be taken to jail straight.
You know, I've said something that I want to repeat. I think there's an elite conspiracy somewhere. Our security agencies, military and others are not this bad. I can say it again and again. But when you see, I think there are some powerful interests that are making things to get worse. If there is not some people complicit in this or that, why will? So when some people are saying, let's change the service chiefs I say, okay, if we change the service chiefs, will the service chiefs control themselves? Now we did. Then bandits, call them terrorists. I say, how will that change the story? Because even before this same government, we started hearing about repentant terrorists, repentant Boko Haram, repentant this, that some people are being released. Now, what we are discussing here didn't come from the opposition. You can't tell me somebody is politicizing anything. It came from a governor, from the ruling party. To me, the governor must have had enough intelligence before he started speaking. How come you arrested? How many of the bandits were you able to arrest? You only arrest few. The few you are able to arrest, do you take them to court? Have you seen anyone that is, convicted? So how can we now say we are fighting insurgency, we are fighting bandits? It shows the kind of commitment we have as a country. That are we really interested in ending this circle of bloodletting, endless killings, wasteful, endless waste of human lives? There's one story, there's one case in this one 75-year-old man, in his presence, they killed his 4 children. The first one was beheaded, then they gathered the remaining, and they were being shot at close range. When they killed them, the father, they tied the father's hand. So in his presence, they killed all his 4 children. There were others who came to join them. What were they doing? These were not criminals. They were on their farm harvesting yam. You understand me? Then after killing all his children, they untied the 75-year-old man. They now told him that now you can go.
To go and do what?
What manner of society is that? A country with a government? Believe me, I can't just gather myself.
Well, let's go to Governor Zulum. The president has said it repeatedly that these terrorists are not holding on to territories. The Minister of Information, Alhaji Lai Mohammed, has said it, several times, that it's just, that they're not holding on territories. But the governor of the state is saying that Abadan and one other, I've forgotten the second local government, that 2 local governments, they're still firmly, under the control of Boko Haram. And the governor went ahead, was talking about that they even got an intelligence of 300 motorcycles, that those people, they were having meetings. That yes, for 300 motorcycles to converge, and they were having meetings and everything. You can find how the kind of boldness. So for Governor Zulum to say this, who do we believe?
Who do we believe?
Just so. The commander-in-chief is telling us that look,
in a country where you arrest perpetrators of crime and terrorism and they are released, then you have those who come out and say they are repenting and you want to embrace them. I think it only goes to
20,000.
Yeah, so that just tells us what your priority really appears to be. And I wouldn't take it from anybody coming to say later that they could have done better if not for 1 or 2. I think now they have the chance to do their best. Having said that, Governor Zulum, has been very outspoken, has been very forthright, has been very forthcoming in his in his denunciation of terrorism and in making sure that his state is free. You remember, when he himself came under attack several times. I'm not talking about verbal attack. When he was fired at, on several locations. It just tells you that the actual ground zero of this whole thing we call terrorism may not be where we are even looking. It's not even about the guys in the bush. It is like Yusuf has said, there should be some kind of grand elite conspiracy. And in my own opinion, the framers and crafters of state policy have questions to answer. there is no way this kind of thing will continue unabated without the support of those who should be putting an end to it. I personally don't agree. It means I believe that something is not being done enough.
But as at yesterday, Governor Zulu, and as far as I'm concerned, the only passionate political leader I've seen in recent time, who governs, who leads with passion.
From the front.
Yes, with passion. Not just those who lost comfort and the, as at yesterday, addressing, Senate Committee on Army, said Abadam and Guazamala, two groups, are still firmly under the control of Boko Haram.
I'm sure that might not go down well with.
No, we go and read it. It's published, by Daily Trust just about 1 hour ago, and he cried out that terrorists are overrunning. The man and his counterpart in Zamfara said terrorists are overrunning their states.
You think
they will be lying? They would love to
that
lie.
Is under siege.
They would love to do propaganda against
themselves and their party.
We need to be honest. So if anybody now says no, okay, what of Niger State? Officials of, and these are all APC states. So you cannot tell me that somebody is trying to play some, mischief with the security, of our country. So there's no doubt about that. There's nothing like that.
So ultimately, last time on Sunday, Jide just visited the Northeast and he brought cheering news. The military guys, they're getting their equipment now, and the morale is quite high. And he's saying that look, they stemmed the tide of this incessant attack. Now, I think where the worry is the number of people being conscripted and going into banditry. It's like it's the in thing in the Northwest.
Which is why we have said that, the English people say stitching time
Saves 9.
Saves 9. There was a time I think the Qatari government, or is it Dubai, gave the president a list of people that they believe they had evidence.
400 names.
400 names. That's not something to joke with. But as you and I are sitting here, I am not aware that anything has come out of that list that is in our possession. That kind of attitude does not help the war on terror. Then our own internal investigations. How is it that it is the governors who are coming to Abuja to come and tell the Senate and Nigerians? How is it that the commanders of Lafia, Dole, and all the operations in the Northeast are not even... Is it that they are not aware that Boko Haram is still controlling territories? It didn't come from them. It is this same attitude that makes the communities unable to repel these attackers. I was saying that in Niger, in those places that we're talking about in Niger State, the community people had gone to, deal a blow to the bandits before they came back on reprisal and did everything that they did. We're saying that they are not being supported. If you keep giving that attitude, everything is okay, people go to sleep. And I'm a bit worried that we should, so that we can question this. How does the president say that no local government is under Boko Haram control, and the governors come and say, Ayo, that local government is under Boko Haram control? So one of them is lying. Ayo, one of them is lying. And that lie will help the terrorists. It does not help the communities and the villages.
All right.